KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3's Midday.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us here on Midday. I'm Nick Kruzelnicki, filling in for Brooke McKivigan. Let's get to some breaking news out of Rochester. Police are searching for a robbery suspect. KIMT News 3's Samantha Soto is live with the details. Sam?
Yes, Nick, that's right. I'm here off of Marion Road Southeast, just in the parking lot of Christ Lutheran Church, where police are actively looking for a robbery suspect. They tell me that the area from 30th Street Southeast to 50th Avenue Southeast is cleared, but they are still looking. One RPD officer I spoke to tells me the suspect allegedly stole a vehicle and fled once confronted by the owner, and then tried to break into another residence and then fled that scene as well. The suspect is in question is white male, about 6 foot tall, last seen wearing a black ski mask with a black hoodie and blue jeans. Rochester police are asking the public not to approach the suspect if you see him and to call 911. Live in Rochester, Samantha Soto, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Sam, and we'll continue to follow this story and bring you more updates on KIMT News 3's First at 4. Let's check in with Storm Team 3 meteorologist Sean McAday, and it's been a pretty nasty day out there weather-wise. You can see the rain going on out there still, and it's not going to stop anytime soon, is it?
It actually turns to snow later today, and that snow could make for some impacts for that morning commute. I will say, though, those impacts are looking lesser, on the lesser side. It looks like a lot of this storm is kind of already used up some of its energy, so there's going to be less of it to fall as snow through tonight and making for sticking roads tomorrow morning. So that's some good news I can deliver you. It is looking a little bit better than what it could have been, but still we are going to be looking at some snow. Right now the radar is actually clear, although there is this kind of mist, this almost like splinter rain that's falling across the area, and that is mixing with fog across the area, making for lower visibility. Essentially, if you're east of I-35 next couple of hours before things start to turn to snow, this is what we're going to be dealing with, some fog. And in some, especially towards the bluff country near the Mississippi River, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some couple of spots with really low visibility. So something to be aware of. I'm just going to take a look at some of our live eyes in the sky. Highway 63 looking foggy, not as bad towards Austin and Albert Lee. Mason City, you can definitely tell there's a little bit of something right there. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Temperatures right now are in the mid-30s, a little bit warmer towards parts of northeast Iowa. Things start to turn to snow later this afternoon. Around 5 p.m. that afternoon commute, we see some light snowflakes start to fall in some spots. May see some of that expand during the overnight hours. Impacts could make for a couple of slick spots and grassy accumulation, but that's about it. Coming up, I'll talk more about what we can expect for tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you, Sean. New on Midday, a man is arrested after stealing several vehicles. It all started in Dover Township when a caller reported a suspicious man had asked him for a gallon of gas. Mo U, who was driving an SUV, started following the caller. Deputies confirmed the vehicle was driven by U, was reported stolen out of St. Paul. U then ditched the stolen car and took another SUV. Deputies in Winona County tracked him down and arrested him. They found a backpack with .40 caliber ammo inside. U is facing several charges, including felony vehicle theft. Gas prices appear to be holding steady across the country, averaging just over $4.23 a gallon, according to AAA. In Rochester, regular unleaded is averaging about $3.96 a gallon, down about a cent from yesterday. Over in Freeborn County, drivers there are paying an average of $3.89 per gallon. Drivers in Cerro Gordo County are also enjoying below average prices, $3.89 a gallon today. Students at Albert Lee High School are upset over alleged remarks made by Principal Chris Dibble. Outgoing seniors asked Dibble to save a seat at graduation for students that have died, but Dibble allegedly told them that they are dead and are no longer students. Seniors then took to Facebook, hoping the Albert Lee community could help figure out the situation. Senior Cassie Nielsen says students are upset at Dibble's alleged comments.
Some people would look up to him or whatever as being the big role model in the school, you'd think he would like be there and like listen to what we think and everything and how we feel about things.
The district says they will be reaching out to families to determine the best way to honor former students. New on Midday, Plainview, Elgin, Millville have selected their new superintendent. Darren Strosahl will take the top spot in the district. A contract is expected to be approved by the school board in their April 11th meeting. His pending start date will be July 1st. The Rochester chapter of Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge is getting a new director. David Hunter says his mission taking on this role is to be a testimony for those struggling with addiction on their journey to recovery and healing.
Addiction is not a moral failure. Addiction transcends race, class, boundaries, faith.
Hunter describes the rule of 15, which is saying every person who struggles with addiction, that struggle directly impacts 15 people in their life. He went through the treatment journey himself back in 2016 and says addiction is not a moral failure and it is never wrong to ask for help.
It's not just subject to the person who is suffering from addiction. It affects marriages, it affects children, it affects communities, it affects employers, medically, spiritually, across the gambit. It has an impact on everyone, and so it really is a battle that we're all in, a battle that we all are fighting. I think virtually everybody knows of someone who's struggling from addiction.
Looking ahead in the coming weeks, the center is also planning to open a new full gym for the men and women going through the program. The Orinoco City Council took its first steps to establish an Economic Advisory Board, or EDA. Community Economic Development Associates, also known as CEDA, presented at a special city council meeting last night. Council members stressed the need and the want to create an EDA to help guide future developments. Currently, the city does not have an economic development vision or EDA. A CEDA spokesman says the process will first start with identifying the city's goals.
So let's take some time on the front end so that we can get through all the kind of the nitty-gritty stuff. Let's come up with a solid plan that's reasonable, that doesn't have to have, the EDAs taking up all their time to do it. I think that can be done in 3-4 months.
He also said Orinoco's upcoming sewer project will likely bring in more businesses, housing, and residents. There may be tensions between the U.S. and Russia on Earth, but in space, they have to get along. An American astronaut is finally back on the ground.
Russian military pressure continues to build up in Ukraine. I'm Skylar Henry on Capitol Hill as Ukrainian leaders meet with U.S. senators to discuss their country's struggle.